recording. Okay, Pankaj and Soumya, were you able to log in to that web version? Have you tried once again? You said that you were facing some issues, right? It seems like there's a disturbance from them their end. Can you see my screen now? Hello?
Yes, Srinivas, we can
Is
see.
it visible?
Yes.
Okay, so I was asking Pankaj and Soumya, were you able to log in and check whether the web tool is working or not? Because you said that some issues, right?
No, we'll try again today. I've got some free time now after this call, so we'll do that now.
Yeah, because you should not delay it. Later, it will be a problem because if you don't practice, and it will be a problem just by listening the classes. That's why.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yes. See, actually, before getting into the next topic, actually, I should have explained this structure in the beginning itself. But instead of that, I thought to go topic wise. Let me just give you an overview about the general ledger, how it works actually in Dynamics 365. Since you might be, let me just try to explain how does it difference how different it will be from normal accounting system and D365. So generally, what happens in any business, the first accounting system will start with the recording the transactions, right? That we will call it as a journal entries. So I hope you are aware about this one, how to pass the journal entries and all. And then what happens is like we need to separate the transactions depending on the main accounts for that or any related to particular transaction. So from these journal entries, we will be preparing the ledger balances in the traditional accounting system. And then from ledger balances, we will be preparing the trial balance. And after preparing this one, we will be preparing profit and loss account. Let's not go in deep how this ledger balances, trial balance, and profit and loss account and next balance sheet is going to work. You are already aware about this how these topics, right? But this is a general accounting system. But here, in order to accommodate all these journal entries, ledger, the trial balance, and the management reports, everything, we will be in between. We will have to configure a lot of topics like. I- okay, so this is a general accounting system. But in D365, what happens, like in order to record the transactions, we will have to first configure the legal entities that we have already discussed. Prashant, you were trying to share something. Hello.
No, 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 bro.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you have to remember, see, the reason why you should know before getting into in-depth topic wise, whenever you get a chance, like you'll be at times you will have to demonstrate the D365 to your client, right? So at that time you will be asked one question, like this client will ask us, just take us through the general ledger structure in the D365, because they might be using the traditional accounting system in the different softwares like SAP or Oracle or any other third party, anywhere it may be. But in case if they wanted to understand how does it works everything, here you should be well aware about important topics, or it should be on your fingertips. I can say that. Uh, so first thing is we need to create the legal entities that we have already discussed, and then in order to record any transactions, the first thing what we have to do is like we'll have to create the calendars, which under calendars again we'll be having two things, that is fiscal and ledger. I have already discussed what is the difference between the fiscal ledger and the fiscal calendar and the ledger calendar. So fiscal calendar is nothing but a normal the calendar dates, dividing the periods or dividing the months or dividing the days as per the requirement of the client. And the ledger calendar is where you'll have to map the calendar to your legal entity as per the accounting system. So any transactions that you're posting on daily basis, that will get reflected only on the basis of the ledger calendar. So the ledger calendar configuration that I'll show it later. So this, and the next part is currency configuration. Yeah. Again, so the most important the thing is currency. The reason being, since any business will be having their operations in multiple countries, so they will be having different currencies. For example, if a company has its operations in multiple countries like USA, India, Japan, and all, so they will have to report their financial reports or any transactions, or if they wanted to pay tax or any statutory related in multiple countries wherever they're doing their operations. If the parent company is in USA, and if their subsidiary companies or sister concern comes here are located in different countries like India, Japan, China, and all, the parent company currency is USD, and Indian currency is INR. So like this, every country will be having their own currencies, right? So in case if they want to demonstrate this financial reporting to the stakeholders of the company, or the investor, or the tax departments, they will have since the parent company is located in USA, they have to report in USD itself, even though they might be having multiple countries operations in multiple countries. In India, they'll be maintaining. So in depth the configuration we will discuss in the later part, but let me just give an overview. Parent company is in USA, so the transactions will be recorded in USD. Subsidiary company is located in India, so they will have to report uh, Indian tax authorities in INR. So like this, they might be having multiple currencies depending on the operations conducting in the country. So we will have to configure all these USD, INR, and the conversion rate of the USD, INR, all these things in the D365 module. And along with that, we'll be having the foreign currency revaluation as well. So this is where whenever there is a as I told, if the parent company is in USA, the currency conversion that happens through foreign currency revaluation. This is a separate module which is a part of this currency itself. But this topic will be discussed in the last after configuring after completing the GL and then accounts payable, accounts receivable, consolidation, everything. This we can discuss in the last part. But the reason being, this foreign currency revaluation is a part of every module because accounts payable will be having some transactions, accounts receivable will be having transactions, fixed assets will be having the transactions. In order to convert the transactions in each and every module, we will be discussing this foreign currency revaluation in the last topic. And the most important, the definition that you should be aware in the currency is accounting currency and reporting currency. So can someone tell me, like if you have an idea, what is the difference between accounting currency and reporting currency? Hello?
Srinivas, if I'm not wrong, accounting currency is,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, where the business is taking place. If, for example, we were talking about the parent company and subsidiary company. So subsidiary company is in India. Since that subsidiary company is India, will be, recording all our accounting transactions in INR, right? Whereas
Yes,
the reporting currency would be like the headquarter, which is located in USA. They want to see all the transactions in their native currency, that is in USD. So that is a reporting currency.
correct. So even though this is a thanks for the explanation, Prashant. Even though this looks very simple, but while doing the transactions, right, we should be very careful, and we should also ensure that accounting currency and reporting currency is enabled for each and every transactions wherever it is required. Else, it will be very difficult while doing the reconciliation and all. So, as Prashant told, the accounting the currency is nothing but if it depends on the if the entity is if the entity is located in India and the parent company is located in USA. USA needs in India they are supposed to report the transactions as per the INR. So anything that is related to accounting in the sense recording the transactions, because business happens whenever there is a business, transactions will be recorded, right? And those transactions have to be done accounting. So anything that is related to any transactions, any transactions of ongoing business. Yeah. So any transactions of ongoing business on daily basis should be recorded in accounting currency of that particular country, or or as per the subsidiary country. So any transactions that is related to any module, it may be, since we have to perform the accounting process, right? In order to do all these things, we will have to maintain in the we'll have to configure the accounting currency. But reporting currency, the name itself, it defines the reporting currency means the financial reports. The financial reports means P&L account and the balance sheet, or any other like modules in case if they need any accounts payable report or like a any depending on the stakeholders requirement, any financial management reports, right? So these reports uh, should be recorded in the USD. So mostly reporting involves yeah, reports like balance sheet and profit and loss and balance sheet. These should be reported as per the yeah. So even though sometimes what happens if the parent company is located in USD, if they require, if they need any of their transactions to be reported in, let's say if they want in GBP, like pounds, at that time also you can give the reporting currency as a GBP. See that the requirement will differ from company to company. It doesn't mean that the parent, if the parent company is located in USA, they may need to report, they may need to show these reports for the Japanese investors. So what they does is, they'll report, they'll convert this currency into from USD to Japan. So for any reason it may be, we'll have to maintain accounting currency and reporting currency. This is mandatory. And once we configure, we will have to import this currency. This is a separate configuration topic, where every day, depending on the currency fluctuations, right? That fluctuations of any currency, that will directly gets converted back end in the Dynamics 365. You need not to do it on manual basis. It's a one-time setup on every day whenever, we can give the time, when at what time this amount has to be converted. All those things. It's like one-time setup. Those changes once you do in the backend, Dynamics 365 will convert any transactions on its own. So like this, you can give multiple currencies, like the configuration under configuration. So this is about the currency, and the next is financial. Okay, before that, main accounts are nothing but ledger accounts. Okay, so here we will call it as a main accounts. Not only in Dynamics 365, in SAP or any Oracle, any ERP, instead of calling it as a ledger accounts, we'll call it as a main accounts. And the configuration part related to main accounts is, the most important thing we should remember is to define that particular main account, under which category does it falls. If you are giving any rent account, or if you're under the rent is an expense account, this is an expense account, you will have to configure under it as an expense. And if it is a P&L related, you will have to give the P&L. If it is a balance sheet or balance sheet, and the user controls. If you want this rent account to be used only by one particular team, that is under any general ledger team, you can give those controls. In-depth explanation related to main accounts and the fields related to configure the main accounts, we will discuss in the next once we start main accounts topic. And the next one is financial dimensions. In in the layman language, we can call it as a segments. Yeah. The reason, I hope you remember, I have already explained about the financial dimensions. The reason why I have explained these financial dimensions before configuring the main accounts is since financial dimensions is nothing but, as I told, you can classify the segments. So it will be easy for you to understand how these financial dimensions will help while creating the ledger accounts or while creating the ledger entries, everything. So these financial dimensions will help us to classify the transactions, like to get any reports related to particular branch or anything. That I'll show you in the trial balance. We will discuss about that. how to pull the report related to one particular dimension while explaining the ledger accounts and all. And the next topic will be chart of accounts. Yeah. So chart of accounts is here we'll call it as a group of any ledger accounts. For example, if you have multiple bank accounts like ICICI, HDFC, Axis and all, you can create a group, or if you have any branches. Even so, see there is a difference between the financial dimensions and the chart of accounts. See, this financial dimension has nothing to do with the accounting effect, because here you're just classifying the transactions, but this chart of accounts is directly linked with the ledger accounts. So ledger accounts in the sense, ledger, or here we'll call it as the main accounts, right? Yeah. So this chart of accounts is a group of main accounts, right? So these main accounts, let us assume if there are 10 main accounts related to rent or any transport expenses and all. So if you want to group any those main accounts, you can create under the chart of accounts. So while configuring the chart of accounts, I will show you. Then you'll understand the difference between the chart of accounts, financial dimensions, and the main accounts. And the next and final, most important topic is accounting structure. This is where you will configure the legal entity, calendars, currency, main accounts, financial dimensions, chart of accounts. All these things you will have to configure under the accounting structure. So this accounting structure is allows the end users, or any accounts payable or accounts receivable team, whenever they are posting any transactions, right? Since see, these are you have configured separately. You have configured the main account. Let us assume you have configured the P&L accounts, balance sheet accounts, and any ledger accounts. Everything you have configured, and the financial dimensions as per the classification requirement given by the client, you have configured. And the chart of accounts, everything you did. But how are you going to link? Since these all this like since all the above six configurations, you'll have to configure them in one. You'll have to connect each other, right? Unless you don't connect all these above six, accounting structure is not going to start. The accounting structure is nothing but it's a string. In IT language we'll call it as a string, right? Where in the same way, even here also we'll call it as a accounting structure string. Under this, what happens? Once you configure all these things, like what all main accounts should form a P&L account, and what all main accounts should come under balance sheet, the differentiation of the main accounts, and since if you have created 100 financial dimensions, let us assume, and 200 main accounts, this under which main account, which financial dimension should get impacted? So all this, like vendor, any transactions that you are going to generate under on your daily transaction basis, those things you will have to configure the accounting structure. So once you configure all these 7 topics, the general ledger setup is done. So you have just you need to remember, you'll have to demonstrate to the client saying that yes, you can configure all these like all these topics like legal entities, calendars, currency. Then the client will understand, yes, this is how we can get all the reports or anything related to GL. So once you are done with all these things, then the requirement will come. Uh, 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 and the next topic will be accrual journal. So accrual journal, like in an ongoing business, the definition accrual says that whenever you are doing any transaction, in case if your payment is not received, but service has been already performed. In order to show this transaction in terms of amount, even though you didn't receive the amount, as per the books of accounts, you were supposed to record the transaction, right? So that transaction configuration, any accrual like service done, but payment you are going to receive in the later part. So these kind of transactions, you will have to configure in a separate. You will have to give separate configuration that will come under the accrual journal. While configuring the accrual journal, we'll take few examples and we'll discuss about that. And the periodic journal. But the periodic journal, it says like any transactions that are happening on a periodic basis or recurring basis, we can call it. For example, in any business, there will be the most common expenses like rent, salaries. These are very common every month, even though employees might increase or they might reduce, but still the salary would remain same, and it will be an ongoing, or it will be periodic for any company, or it will be recurring expense. And if there is anything related to rent or any by internet charges or anything like this, you can classify the transactions. You will have to instead of posting every month, since it is a regular transactions, you can give an automation like once you configure the periodic journal, every month the ledger account of that particular related transaction will get auto posted. So that topic we'll discuss while discussing the periodic journal. And the next will be consolidation process. So, but in the meanwhile, while configuring this financial, after this accounting structure and financial dimensions, a few other topics will come, like journal names we'll have to create, and general journals we have to create. All those things, subtopics, we will discuss one by one slowly. And the consolidation process. So once you set up all these things, consolidation process. Since consolidation says that whenever a company, if there are any group of companies, let us say there are 2 to 3 companies, you will have to consolidate all 3 companies into one consolidated company, as per the requirement of the stakeholders or the management. So there is a separate configuration, and the consolidation process is a separate topic that we will discuss it later. Next would be okay before management report, year-end clauses. Yeah. So after this consolidation process, every month, irrespective of irrespective of the legal entity, you will have to prepare the month-end reports. Hope you are aware about the preparing the month-end, and what is the importance of month-end, right? Every month, the stakeholders were supposed to see the reports. So for that, there is a separate configuration. Like on every year, every financial year ending, we'll have to prepare reports. This configuration we'll have to do it separately. And the next will be once the statutory requirements of as per the Companies Act. So these, if you remember, these are related as per the Companies Act. Once you are done with the requirement as per the Companies Act, and then the tax department statutory requirements will start. So even for the tax also, you were supposed to submit the reports and you were supposed to pay the tax, right? So for that purpose, we'll have to configure tax accounting and tax related reports like VAT, GST. Since few countries are still using VAT, and in India we are using GST, right? So as per the company requirement, we will have to configure this tax accounting, like, because here the reason why I'm using the term accounting is At times what happens, for example, I am not sure whether you are aware about this topic or not. uh, in India, if you remember, as per the Companies Act, the depreciation of financial fixed assets will be calculated separately, and as per the Income Tax Act department, you will have to depreciate the fixed asset with a separate percentage. The percentage will not remain same for both as per the Companies Act and as per the Income Tax Act. It is it's a separate topic that maybe if you're aware, you can go through that, or else we'll be discussing the fixed assets module. So at that time you will see the difference, how we are going to differentiate the depreciation as per the Companies Act and as per the here we'll call it as a layers. Instead of calling it as a separate books, we can call it as a different books of accounts, or different layers: current layer, current layer, and the tax layer. Current layer in the sense, it's as per the Companies Act. If it is as per the tax layer, we can create as per the tax layer. And in case if the parent company is located in US, right, if they want to depreciate fixed assets located in India as per the US GAAP standards, we can create one more layer as per the US GAAP standards. Like those topics we'll discuss in the fixed assets module. So once we are done with all this configuration, the basic and most important topics related to general ledger structure is done. I hope, did you understand all these topics, right? Hello.
Yes, Srinivas.
Yeah. So I'll try to show you once again under this general ledger, how does it looks everything. See, these are the default workspaces which are created. Under this, I was explaining, right? The reason why I'm stressing, instead of getting into the direct topics, I want you to remember the screen, what all topics are there under the general ledger module. This is very important. The reason being, once you get into the work, right, it is not possible for you to always remember under which topic does this chart of accounts forms, under which topic these dimensions will be a part of that. So you always try to explore more and more under each and every module. See, this journal entries, this is the first step in the configuration to record the transaction. It will start from here. Like I was telling, right, we'll have to give sub configurations like general journals, how to post generals, and periodic journals, allocation journals. So these topics we'll have to configure. And the inquiries and reports, I was telling, right, how to prepare the trial balance, or how to pull voucher related transactions, like based on, since we'll be creating a number of transactions, right? If you want to pull reports as per the vouchers, you can click on this one. You can use this one. We'll in depth we'll discuss under the inquiries and reports topic. This is related to financial reports. This is like a P&L and the balance sheet. Under the ledger reports, we can see dimension statement. So dimension statement, I hope you remember, I was explaining, right? You can pull the report as per the specific dimension, or a specific branch, or a specific uh, cost center, like that. And the ledger transaction list, print journal, post transactions. These are related to ledger reports. The period end reports, that like month, we have to prepare month end and the period year end closing reports, right? Those reports will be a part of under this module. And the consolidation, so I was telling this consolidation process, right? If you want to consolidate two or three group of companies into one main company, you will have to one parent company, or one separate consolidated company. Those things you can do it here. And this is related to periodic tasks. So if you want to pull out any related to ledger settlements, or ledger related transactions, that you can get it here. And unsettled transactions report, on daily basis, you might be posting few transactions, few transactions, but you are not going to settle them. If there is anything related to payment, you for some XY reason you might have kept it on hold, or any other transactions went on hold. So all these transactions you can get it here. And this periodic journals, this is some related recurring transactions configurations like rent, salaries I was explaining, right? That comes under this one. And the foreign currency revaluation. Since this, while explaining the currency topic, I have told, right, this is where you will configure as journalizing. These haven't used, but depend like all this requirement. See, most of the topics, whatever it is showing here, right? Depending on the client requirement, you should be knowing like what all options you have. Suddenly, your client may come and ask you, maybe like they will ask to conduct any workshop or conduct any what will call any meeting with the stakeholders, saying that they'll ask you to explain the foreign currency revaluation configuration. So immediately you should be ready to navigate through general ledger under periodic task everything. So that's the reason you have to remember what all topics comes under which main head of this periodic task. And the data export, recalculate these, whatever the topics have used till now in related to project and all, right? So I'll try to explain. And the data export, this is related to data migration. Like in case if you want to import or export data from D365 to normal Excel sheet, you can do that. Or from Excel sheet, if you want to export it to the D365, this is separate topic for the data migration we will discuss. And this is related to allocations. Allocations means, for example, in a business, might be few transactions. Let us say cleaning expenses. For example, if there are 5 floors, uh, in case if they wanted to divide this expense related to cleaning, depending on the carpet area of that particular floor, they'll have to allot. The reason being, for few transactions or few common transactions, let us say, it is not possible for them to allocate without having any without classifying. For example, if there are if they are spending, if there is an electricity bill, on what basis they are going to charge? Even though 5 floors are related to same parent company, it is not a good practice that you can just give an electricity bill under the direct parent company, right? Each and every floor you will have to allocate that electricity expense, because to identify how much electricity is being is being charged for which department. If ID department is located in the first floor and finance department is located in the second floor, it is obvious that IT department will be having more usage of the electricity. So the allocations, you will have to allocate the any expenses that is which are commonly used in an organization. So all those allocations related you will configure under this one. And that there are multiple types, like on what basis you will have to allocate, standard method and fixed percentage method and all. So those things we'll discuss under the ledger allocations. And this is related to period close. So as I told, every month and year end we are supposed to prepare reports, right, for the stakeholders. That configurations we'll be doing under this one. You can see here closing period adjustments. If there is anything related to adjustments, those closing periods you can do it here. Year end ledger calendars. So this configuration, so if you see under this calendars also, we have this ledger calendars. Even under period close also it is there. Both are same. And most important is chart of accounts. So this is where the crux of general ledger is lying. So what the reason being, this is the, if you, in order to post any transaction, I was telling, right, you will have to configure. Very important thing is main account and the chart of accounts. These topics will be discussing slowly, but I gave you a meaning of what is the main accounts, what is the chart of accounts, cash flow, like if you want to divide or if you want to classify the main accounts, those things, and the templates, the consolidation account groups, ledger account alias, all these things like balance control accounts. In case if you want to prepare any separate accounts to transfer the balances, like your opening balances or closing balances, you can give those accounts under the balance control accounts and the dimensions. So I have already explained the financial dimensions, like in order to classify transactions. Under how are you going to classify? How can you create the financial dimension sets? All these configurations related to financial dimensions, you can give it here. And the accounting structure. Accounting structure, I told, right? This is where you will combine the main accounts, chart of accounts, financial dimensions, and the calendar in the accounting structure. So once you configure all these things, you will come to the accounting structure. Once accounting structure is done, then you can start posting the transactions related. And this is related to fund and funds types. You can configure under this one. This is related to currencies. Okay, so so once you configure all this currency, ledger, everything, because under currency, under accounting structure, you will have to define the currency as well. So in order to configure the currencies, like what are the I told, right? If you are having multiple, if you are doing business in multiple countries, you'll have to configure all those currencies and the exchange rate types, like how many types of exchange rate you have, like you are using, like average or multiple budgeting, or any tax related, accounting related, accounts receivable related. For example, if you want to configure anything related to accounts payable, you will have to define that exchange rate. And foreign currency revaluation, unless you don't configure this foreign currency revaluation, it won't allow you to do the revaluation while doing the year end close or month end close. And currency exchange rates. So I was explaining, right? From INR to USD, you will have to give that currently, if it is a 70 rupees or if it is a 75 rupees, manual it is not possible for us. So you will have to define that by importing the currency exchange rates and the currency revaluation accounts, denomination currencies. All these topics will discuss under the currency. And calendars, yes, already we have discussed. And the ledger setup. So under this ledger setup, again, not like two common topics will be there: ledger and fiscal. The same under calendars or under ledger setup, this will remain same. And the most important is ledger calendar, general ledger parameters. One thing you should remember: in each and every module, there will be parameters. Under accounts payable, there will be accounts payable parameters. Under accounts receivable parameters. If you let me just open this general ledger parameters and will show you, because you have to remember the general ledger parameters in order to configure or to perform any transactions in any accounts payable, any module, we'll have to configure here. Yeah. See, this is where under the general ledger parameters, you will have to configure uh, like voucher related, any multiple transactions. All these topics we'll be discussing one by one under the general ledger parameters. Just remember how does it looks everything, because later once we start doing, right, you will have to connect all these topics. Even though we might be discussing any financial dimensions, we should be knowing how does this financial dimension is going to link with the accounting structure. How does this financial dimension will help with any related to financial reports, everything. All these dots you will have to keep connecting on daily basis. In order to do that one, you will have to always open the general ledger module and see the topics like sales tax, anything that is related to tax related. You have to give the sales tax groups or anything, those configurations will give it here. And anything related to inventory dimensions, that will be given. And then the number sequences, already we have discussed how what is the importance of number sequences and how to configure. And the batch transfer rules, if there is anything related to subledger groups, those things we'll have to configure here, and the chart of accounts and dimensions. So anything that is related to chart of accounts and the financial dimensions, we'll have to define here. So we'll discuss on in a separate module about the general ledger parameters. Okay. Yeah, so after this general ledger parameters, you can see here general setup, like financial reporting setup. All these things will have to anything related to reporting, right? That configuration can be done here. And the date intervals is like if you want to configure any specific dates, like for a week, like if you want to pull a report on weekly basis, you can just configure that intervals under the date of intervals. And the general setup. So I was explaining, right, in order to perform any record any transaction, you will have to give the names of related to commonly used journal entry names and all. So those you can give it here. And the general ledger workflows. For example, if you're in your organization, there might be chances that to approve any transaction if it is related to some for example let us take any transaction. The transaction the transactional value is around 1 lakh. So in order to approve this 1 lakh in an organization, there might be multiple approvals. Like the end user might be posting that 1 lakh rupee transaction, and the next approval will be your the general ledger manager, and then the CEO, or depending on the organization level. This workflow is also very important. You will have to remember. The reason being, this workflows are common in every module. Here we'll call it as a general ledger workflow. Under accounts payable, we'll call it as a AP workflows. In every module, there will be a hierarchy, right, to approve any transaction. So you'll have to remember the configuration, how to give these approvals. We'll discuss in separate module, separate topic, general ledger workflows. And the accrual schemes, as I have already explained. So the ledger reasons, the financial reasons, you can give a short names like for what purpose you are creating the reasons, or for what reason you are creating the ledger account. Those configuration related, you can do it here. And the posting setup. So here we'll be having the accounts related to automatic transactions. So while posting the journal entry, that I'll explain you how this configuration will help. And anything that is related to intercompany accounting. uh, in case if you have subsidiary companies, right, let us assume you have 2 3 companies, and one the end product of a parent of example, let us assume you have 2 companies, A and B. End product of the A company can become the opening product of the B company. Or else sales of the A product can become the purchase of the B company. Even though it might be your company, internal company, but as per the statutory reports, we are supposed to maintain the records or maintain transactions related to company wise, right? So those configurations will be doing under intercompany accounting. Even this is also a separate topic that will be discussion that will discuss it later. So currency revaluation accounts, already we have discussed it somewhere. The transaction posting definitions. So all these topics, like whatever that are mostly used and by the clients as per the requirement, those topics we'll be discussing on topic wise. So I was about to explain this. I should have explained this, but some people might be confused about this general ledger. And then subtopics related to the currency or anything, the general ledger, main accounts, all these topics we'll start discussing from the next class. So did you understand, guys, like what is the purpose, and why am I stressing so much to remember the screen, or to practice, or you should know under which category the transaction types will fall under. So all these the topics, whatever these topics, right, you will have to remember immediately under which topic this is a part of that. So any doubts do you have or anything? Prashant, Pankaj?
No, Srinivas.
Not as of now, Srinivas.
Pankaj and Soumya?
Nothing, Srinivas. It's clear as of now.
Yeah. Yeah, and try to make a notes of this entire one. On daily basis, you will have to keep exploring. The reason being, once we discuss all these topics, right? On what happens whenever you are listening to the class, right? It may sound easy for you, since on that particular day, whatever we are discussing, that looks very easy. But once the topic is done, once the entire general, let us assume after 2 weeks or through 3 weeks, once we complete the general ledger process, right? You should be able to explain it to others. Always, whenever you're practicing, right? One thing we have to remember, uh, even though you might be knowing what is the purpose of the configuration, but the way you are going to explain it to the client is going to be very important. The reason being, in case if you get into any support project, Soumya, I hope you are aware about the job roles that you're going to get, right? Because I have already explained it to Prashant and Pankaj. So, are you aware about what kind of job roles that you are going to get being a consultant?
No, Srinivas. We'll just discuss tomorrow. Actually, today and tomorrow will be the week off for us. So we thought to discuss today and
Oh, is
tomorrow.
it? Is it? I should have meant this, because this is very important. Unless you don't know the job roles that you're going to get once you're doing the course and what is the purpose of being a consultant, it will be very difficult for you to connect the dots, everything, right? Because you should imagine that you are already working, then only you will have to learn. See, for let us assume you are into a support project. Support project in the sense, you will be getting the tickets from your end users, or those who are already using the D365. They'll just send a ticket saying that my users are trying to post any one journal entry. The number sequence error, it is throwing some error. So they'll send a screenshot to you saying that kindly help us in resolving the issue. Then you will have to go deep and search. You see, by looking at the screenshot itself. For example, I'll just show you how does a support ticket works. Yesterday, like one of my friend has got the ticket. I'll show you the same ticket how he got. Okay, and one more thing, you have this option here. Okay, I think it is not showing. Okay, under inquiries and reports, water transactions is here, right? Please bear with me. The reason being, it will be bit slow actually. I'll show you this. I'll explain this once we get into the inquiries and reports. Let me just show you how what kind of screenshot he got and uh, how you can get the in similar way. Yeah. So this is related to voucher transactions, right? If you open the practice environment or the production environment, then yes, it is easy for you to identify that this is related to voucher transactions. But what happens is at times, so yesterday he got a ticket. Yeah. So the end users have sent a screenshot to him saying that this journal number is being repeated is repeatedly it is they're even though they're trying to post some new voucher, the same voucher number it is taking for a number of transactions. Even though this is the I'm not specifying this one in general, or if there is anything related to voucher or if there is related to ledger account. Okay, so what exactly he got is uh, they just sent the screenshot and they're asking this ledger account or these transactions are related to which module. So if you see if they have sent the entire screenshot, it is easy for you to identify. If it is the easy task, then they are not going to take our help, right? Since they didn't understand how to use the D365, that is where the end user they're taking our services. So what they did is they just sent the screenshot, and the stakeholders they have just arranged the call and they are asking my friend, just tell us these transactions are related to which module. By looking at this, on what basis you are okay, let us assume this account name is also it is not visible. They have sent only this one. By looking at this, how is it possible for you to identify the transactions? Can someone guess me like on what basis you can identify the transactions?
Maybe it's in the number
Hello.
sequence.
No, no, this is actually not number sequence. If you see, the
It's
heading says that it is a
ledger account.
ledger account, right? And this is
Yeah.
related to ledger. This is a main account. 600300 is a
Based
main
on the
account. So
number
you
that
will
is
be
starting with, we will be
correct, and this is related to financial dimension, and this is related to a cost center. This is related to some any other subsegment. So immediately you should be able to identify, yes, this 600300 is related to payroll allocation. That means there is something related to HR module. The reason why you wanted to know is, even though if you don't have this information, you can ask them, if you can provide us the information related to this ledger account, I will be able to help you. Or else if you have already the client information, then you can refer those documents. And the moment you see the screen, right, immediately you'll be having the access to their production environment. You can just come to this accounting reports. Yeah, immediately you have to come to the account inquiries and reports, and then you have to click on the watch reports. Here what happens, if you don't know this navigation, if you don't know the screens, if you don't remember, if you don't remember these screens, it will be very problem for you. Even though you might be knowing, see now, if I open this voucher transaction, if I explain you, then it is easy for you to understand. But being a consultant, we should know everything under which screen, what type of transactions we can see. All these things we should be able to understand. This is a practical one. Yesterday itself, my friend got to know immediately. He practically even I also could not remember immediately, but the moment I saw this one, this is something related to some general ledger or anywhere, then we started exploring that this is under the inquiries and reports. So that's the reason you should remember. So like this on daily basis, what the tickets or whatever the issues we are I'll be getting, right, I'll try to relate them on the same class itself, so that it will be easy for you to relate how what kind of job that you're going to do, or what kind of roles that you will be playing. Okay, I hope I have gave you a fair idea on what kind of work, or
Yes.
like what type of tickets you'll be getting and all. So based on that, you will based on this you will have to make a notes, or you will have to make a preparation and all. Okay, Prashant, Soumya, Pankaj. So you understood, right, this one?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Srinivas.
Yeah. So for today, let us stop the recording.